Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Desert Eagle. I make all sorts of Smackdown videos, All-Stars videos, except this time, as you can tell from the title, this isn't gonna be my typical video. You see, this time, with WWE 12 coming out soon, and the Smackdown vs. Raw series name being no more, I thought, what better time than now to make this video? You see, I want you guys to pick what is the best Smackdown vs. Raw video game this generation. We're gonna go all the way back to 07 to the current 2011. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick recap of some of the features every installment bring to the table. And what better way to start than with the first SVR title on current generation consoles, SVR 07. Now this title didn't come out for the PS3, but it did come out for the Xbox 360. Now this being the first time the SVR series went HD, and on next generation consoles, the graphics were a great improvement from the previous years on the past generation consoles. The characters in this game looked phenomenal, and they all had 3D facial scans, which was a first in the SVR series back then. Speaking of first, the grapple system with the analog stick that we've seen in every single Smackdown game this generation made its debut in Smackdown vs. Raw 2007. As well as the ultimate control moves that we still have to this day in Smackdown vs. Raw 2011. Granted, we don't have as many, we'll still have a few. As well as the hot spots inside and outside the ring, where you could basically drag your opponent on the announce table, smash his head in, drag him to the steel steps, smash his head a couple times, as many times as you want. Basically, you had more control with your grapples. Another big addition to 07 was the fighting area in the crowd, where you could wreak havoc in the crowd with your opponent. You could take weapons from the fans, you could use weapons that are on the ground, you could also use the environment in the crowd area as weapons. You could climb up the crowd area and put your opponent through a table with a flying elbow, a moonsault, or any high flying move. Basically, the crowd area would make for some cool hardcore matches. Now let's move on to the second title, Smackdown vs. Raw 08. Now one of the biggest differences that separates 08 from every other Smackdown is the fighting styles. You have 8 fighting styles, with every single superstar having 2 different fighting styles out of the 8. You had fighting styles like Powerhouse, Dirty, Showman, and several others. Another first for Smackdown vs. Raw 08 was the introduction of the ECW brand and the ECW superstars like Sabu, Sandman, Terry Funk, Tommy Dreamer, and it was also the introduction of the Extreme Rules match in Smackdown vs. Raw, where for the first time ever you had a weapon wheel, which allowed you to have more weapons than ever in an SVR game. To top it off, this game put a heavy emphasis on the weapons. You could use the weapons in a lot of different ways, and there was a lot of grapple moves with the weapons that you can do. You could even do the Sabu triple jump moonsault with the steel chair. And let's not forget, Smackdown vs. Raw 08 introduced us to the struggle submission system. Oh yeah, and it was also the first Smackdown to let you use custom themes. Unfortunately, that feature was only for the Xbox 360 version. Alright, now on to Smackdown vs. Raw 09, which brought a lot of new things to the SVR series. For example, the road to WrestleMania, where you basically had 6 character-specific storylines, even a tag team one with Batista and Rey Mysterio. Another new addition was the Inferno match, where you had to, burn your opponent, burn them alive. This match, was heavily requested by the fans, so they put it in Smackdown vs. Raw 2009. They also updated the tag team match, so even if you weren't the legal man in the match, you played a big role in it. You could, even if you're not the legal man, you could blind tag your partner, you could grab your opponent, you could grab the referee, you could even do a hot tag, like you see on WWE TV all the time, where the face is getting beat down and then he manages to tag in his partner, and his partner comes in, builds in momentum, and hits his finisher. And obviously we can't forget one of the biggest features in Smackdown vs. Raw history, and one of the most requested, by the way, the creative finisher mode, which made its debut in Smackdown vs. Raw 2009. Alright guys, now for one of the most recent Smackdown vs. Raw titles, Smackdown vs. Raw 2010, which really emphasized customization. One of the ways it did that was with the introduction of the creative story mode, where you could basically pick out some cutscenes, pick the superstars that are gonna star in the cutscenes, and you could put some text in there and some sound effects. You also had the paint tool, which lets you draw your own design or tattoo for your created character, which you couldn't do in past years. You also had Superstar Treads, where you could give guys like Kane and the Big Show some silly, attire colors. And when it comes to online features, that's where they added the community creations, where you could download anybody's created content, whether it be a created superstar, a created finisher, highlight reel, anything that's created, you could download it or upload it. Now when it comes to gameplay, they redesigned the Royal Rumble in 2010 to eliminate your opponent. Now you have to button mash the button shown on screen. You can do it from the ropes or from the turnbuckle. They've also added Royal Rumble finishers, so you can eliminate your opponent with the World's Strongest Slam or switch in music or with a pedigree. Alright, now finally the newest and most current installment in the series, SVR 2011. Now with 2011 you had free roaming and Road to WrestleMania. You could walk around everywhere, you could push people around, you can even get into some backstage fight. You also have WWE Universe mode, which is kind of like your own little WWE, kind of like you run the show basically. It's kind of like GM mode, but with actual cutscenes. You have your champions, your #1 contenders, heel turns, face turns. You can form alliances, tag teams. You've got people attacking you before matches. You can cash in Money in the Bank. It's exactly like WWE TV. When it comes to multiplayer, they added an online Royal Rumble where you could play up to 12 players. And you can even play Elimination Chamber matches with up to 6 players. Another cool feature was the match creator, where you could kind of create your own match or customize your own match. You want a last man standing steel cage match? You can do it. You want an Iron Man Hell in a Cell match? You can do it. How about a one-on-one Elimination Chamber match? You can do that as well. And last but not least is the new physics system in SVR 2011, where you could basically put your opponent to a table with any slam. You could slam your opponent on the steel chair. You could lean tables on the ropes, on the apron. You can do basically anything with the objects. You can even change the direction you're going mid-move. So that's it. I just gave you guys a quick recap of every single SVR title this generation. Now obviously I didn't list every single feature of every single SVR title, but that's because I don't want the video to run too long. So now it's up to you guys to choose what is the best SmackDown vs. Raw title this generation. Is it 07, 08, 09, 2010, or 2011? To vote, simply leave a comment with your pick, and obviously the winner will be the SVR title picked the most by you guys. After a month's time, I'll post up a video with the results with a full online match on the winning SVR title. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm out. See ya.